Hello Orchid friends, welcome back to my channel. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day, staying healthy and staying safe. Today's video is a repot video and it's going to be done on my Phalaenopsis yellow pixie. It's actually one of the oldest yellow pixie in my collection. I have a total of 6 different yellow pixies and I purchased them on 3 separate different occasions. These 2 oldest yellow pixie were the first 2 that I acquired when I was still living in New York City, and they have come with me to now in Texas. Anyway, so I decided to repot this orchid because it has way too many aerial roots, and as much as I love seeing roots all over, it's just taking too much horizontal space, and because it's been too many years since I purchased it, and it's really due for a repot, and I want to do that before the moss and the bark are too broken down and maybe rot away all the roots inside. So I think this year is the year to do it. So before I took everything out, I soaked this orchid in water for I think a good hour while I was doing something else. And then I took it out, and obviously when it's wet, everything is wet, it's much easier to clean the roots and get rid of stuff. And of course, during the process, I mistakenly cut off a few viable roots, but not to sweat because this orchid has a lot of other good roots and many aerial roots that, those couple root loss would not be a problem at all. I really like the method of soaking before repot anything because it has been pretty easy for me to do, and orchid roots are much more elastic or easy to work with when they're wet. And as you can see here, I was able to put all aerial roots and existing immediate roots back into the new container. And the container that I use here, I actually put holes at the bottom, and then a couple ventilation holes on the side. And this is the photo of its last bloom on May 4th. And that was also the day I repotted this orchid. So this video clip that you're seeing is on the same day, just right after the repot. So you can see the roots are still somewhat green because of all the shower that it received. And but the media was completely dry. You can see the smaller pebble, the manto clay pebbles. It was completely dry. That's why it's in that light color. And the bigger pebble is hydrocorn. The smaller one is manto clay. And the ratio here is probably 2 to 1. 2 parts the bigger pebble, and then smaller pebble is just about 1. So 2 to 1. And I like to use 1 to 1 or 2 to 1 depending on the root system, depending on the situation. And here, this clip is just right after, so you can still see that I actually damaged a couple roots along the process, and that's just breakage of development, but not to sweat also. And what I typically do is I let it just be dry and hang out for about a week or so, and that's enough time for all these development damage to form scab or scab over, so that way it won't rot just because it's a fresh fresh wound, and then you're giving it too much water right from the beginning. So this 1 week of dryness, one week of dry period actually has helped in a lot of these root damages along the way, along the repotting process. So the inner cup was a new one, but then the outer cup, you can see here, I even use a permanent marker to mark 1, just so I can tell that this orchid is from batch number 1. And then the outer black ceramic pot was just to give it more weight to ensure that this orchid, you know, won't be top heavy. But now that the media is Monto clay plus hydrocorn, it's heavy enough that it won't actually wobble on my rack. And here it's about 45 days, essentially a month and a half later. You can see many root tips are growing, and this is when I was soaking this orchid. So just kind of pay close attention. The amount of orchid at the bottom of the cup, it's maybe about 1/5. But my experience is that if I just let it hang out like that for about an hour, usually the moisture will be absorbed upward, and I would say almost 80 to 90% of the media will be damp by about an hour's time. Overall, I think this repot is a success, and as you can see, all the active root growth, root tip. If there's any more update, I would definitely make a video and let you know. This is all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to get more orchid related videos from my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification. I want to wish you happy growing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!